Hello, my friends. This is yet another bonus episode. Bing, 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 bing. Bonus, bonus, bonus. I need sound effects. Another bonus episode of onefjef. For your listening pleasure, for your ear pleasure, for your brain pleasure. A lot of people say that you should not release podcast episodes on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday because, people are busy and won't listen to it, so forth and so on. But you know what? I don't care. I'm releasing this on a Friday. I think I released the last bonus episode on Friday too, and that one did all right. So, to hell with the naysayers. So yeah, this is just an intro, I guess, but I guess I'll use it as a chance to talk. I guess I already am talking. It's Thursday afternoon, November something, early November. It's starting to get cold. The leaves are definitely now falling off the trees, although it's very late this year. But I took a walk earlier today and, peak leaf peeping, which is a phrase that I really don't care for. Leaf peeping. Who did that? Who came up with this? Can we come up with something like a little bit more like, I can't think of anything offhand, but if you have any suggestions for alternate phrases for leaf peeping, email them to me at onefjefpod@gmail.com. I'm trying to think of one right now. Like foliage. I'm trying to not use swear words because of my mother's feedback, which I think you'll actually hear about later in this episode. So that's confusing for you, isn't it? But, it's something to look forward to. It's a teaser of sorts. The word peeping, right? Hello, I'm peeping. It sounds like a little British boy or that you're like a peeping Tom. It doesn't bring up good, images to me. And if somebody asks me to go leaf peeping, I'll be like, yeah, I'll go for a hike with you and look at the leaves. But I won't say, yes, I would love to go leaf peeping. Peeping. What a strange word that is. Remember in the movie Back to the Future where when Marty McFly first encounters his father is on the limb of a tree with binoculars looking into the bedroom of his mother. Marty McFly's mother, not his dad's. Well, you get it. You've seen the movie. I mean, you don't need to. And then Marty McFly's line is, he's a peeping Tom. And that was a perfect line reading, by the way. You can go back to the film and check it out. It's like Michael J. Fox is here. It's like I'm Michael J. Fox. Anyway, I digress. Do I have thoughts about anything? Yes. I always have thoughts about a lot of things. Do I have thoughts on anything that are particularly interesting today? I don't know. I've been doubling down on the job search this week. And, it's not fun because half of looking for jobs is getting rejected, more than half. Like, looking for jobs already is hard, especially in this world of the internet when there's just like a lot of job stuff, LinkedIn, Upwork, all these different platforms and places. And it's just hard to, know what to focus on. But beyond that, it's like, you have to face rejection a lot over and over and over again. And yeah, it's not a great job market right now. Everybody's laying off everybody and the government is still shut down. Congratulations, by the way, United States of America. We have a record longest government shutdown of all time. Hooray. I need a sound effect I need the kids cheering, but I don't have it on a button. Maybe I'll have to add that in post, although I don't like to edit these too much. Anyway, so combination of factors that is making looking for a job rather difficult. So that's fun. I don't know. I'm still in a pretty good headspace. I've been exercising a lot. That makes me feel good. I've been recording more episodes in person, which is really good for my brain. But yeah, there's the back part of my brain is starting to get a little bit panicky about the work thing. Maybe I have to start driving an Uber or something. I mean, maybe that would be fun. Is it lucrative? I don't know. I think it depends on where you are. Maybe I could do a podcast in an Uber. Like I could ask people when they get in if they'd like to be on my podcast. And then like if they say yes, I can just record the conversation we have going from A to B. It'd be like that Cash Cab show. Remember the Cash Cab show when they get in the cab and he'd ask them trivia questions? There was also like a taxi cab confession show on HBO years ago that did a thing, but they even had cameras. So yeah, thus begins the bonus episode. You know, Bonus is also the name of a grocery store in Iceland. True story. There's like a pig as the mascot. Very cute. I may have already mentioned this, but yeah, it's true. Bonus. That Iceland story, when I went to Iceland, that's a whole story in itself, which we don't have time for here. But it is a beautiful country with not great food. And I ate puffin meat. And I went to the Penis Museum. And blue whales, I think it is, have enormous penises. Enormous. Intimidating. They also have a cast, like a clay cast or whatever of Jimi Hendrix's penis. And yeah, that's also intimidating, but not even close to the whale, because that, you'd have to wear special pants, is what I'm saying. And then more, even then, like special underwear, special pants, all sorts of different things. So I'm grateful personally that I don't have a whale-sized penis. Wow. We've really, this has really gone into an interesting place. Well, and then I'll put this episode out, and then it'll always be out there. Me saying, I'm happy not having a whale penis. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that statement. But would a future employer be comfortable with that? I don't know that they're going to do that deep of a dive, but... Well, he's good at video editing. He seems to be very good at this podcast producing and hosting thing. But he says he is comfortable not having a penis the size of a whale penis. Yeah, maybe they'll ask me in the interview. Maybe I should be prepared for that question. Maybe I should ask ChatGPT what an appropriate response to why don't you want to have a penis the size of a whale penis is for a job interview. I mean, I think it's apparent once you see it in person. But most people have not seen a whale penis in person, so they have no idea of how intimidating it is. But believe you me, actually, you know what, Patreon subscribers, I believe I have a photo of it. I will put a picture of the whale penis that I saw at the Penis Museum in Reykjavik, Iceland, a few years ago in there for you. And if you yourself would also like to see that picture of the whale penis, you'll have to subscribe yourself. I mean, if a photo of a whale penis isn't enough to get you to subscribe to my Patreon page, I'm not sure what I can do for you, because that's pretty amazing. I'll put the Jimi Hendrix one in there too, just to some gravy, But really, the whale penis should be enough. And now I'm thinking of that Saturday Night Live sketch back in the 80s or 90s, and they were at like a nude resort. And I'm going to describe the sketch. There's a new guy at the nude resort, and he's feeling uncomfortable, and all the people who are like regulars are like,
"Hey, penis looks great today."
Well, thanks, Jack. Yours too.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Ted, how's your penis?
And then they sing a penis song.
Penis, 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 penis song. Penis, 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 penis all day long.
Anyway, enough about penises. My New York Times subscription just expired. And of course, they're offering me another year for $50 because that's, subscribers are the most important metric for these things because of advertising dollars. And I haven't renewed it. And I feel like I will at some point, but I don't need more of that. I don't need any more of that. So I don't know. But it made me think that I'd like to delete social media, and this has come up many times over my life. This desire to delete my social media. And I have for periods of time, of course. But like now, like I have to be on them because I feel like I'm promoting this podcast on them. It's kind of a catch-22 because that's where things get promoted now, isn't it? I mean, that's Facebook, Instagram. I mean, I deleted the Reddit app off my phone, which was a good thing, even though I think that's probably the best social media of them all. The most useful at any rate, and the least toxic, right? I don't even think I look at Instagram all that much. I'm not like a power user or anything. Like I won't spend hours sitting there scrolling, but nevertheless, I do spend more time on there than I would like to. And I don't know that the feelings that it brings up a lot of the time. Sometimes, you know, I really like to find poems and so forth on Instagram. I repost those a lot. But then why? What is the whole thing? So what? I don't know, 50 people can read the poem that know me, and then we can't discuss it because we're not in the same room. I don't know. Or maybe it's just me saying, look, I have good taste. Look at this profound thing that I found. Aren't I smart? Maybe it's that. I don't know. And I've got a TikTok podcast thing, which I've barely touched, but I feel like at some point, you know, I should do some dance videos or something to promote the podcast on there. And then people will come to the podcast and be like, this is not what I expected at all. This is not, there's not even video. It's a paradox, my friends. It's a paradox. Look it up, kids. So yeah, I was thinking about that. I talked to my mom earlier, had a nice conversation with my mom this morning. And she was, towards the end of the conversation, she was like, I have one, you know, small piece of feedback for your podcast. And I was like, sure. And basically, in so many words, it was like, stop swearing so much, which I get it. And it made me think, because I do swear too much. Patricia brought it up when I saw her in Colombia. She talked about at one point how much I was swearing. And why do I swear so much? Well, I mean, my father swore a lot. It's a cycle of swearing, you know. It's the endless cycle. His father probably swore a lot, and his father probably swore a lot, and so on and so forth. And the swearing gets passed down from generation to generation. But feedback accepted and appreciated. I will, both on the podcast and in my life, try to not have such a filthy mouth, because what's the point of that? I don't think I've sworn during this little segment here, so that's good, right? It's somewhat ironic because my mother is also the person whose feedback to my 9/11, my film about masturbating to 9/11 footage. It's more than that. It's a bad description, but you know, I'm just trying to get to the point. She said that I nailed it. So I guess the masturbating to 9/11, okay. Saying fuck too often, meh, not so much. But Mom, I love you, and I will stop swearing so much. And thank you for liking my 9/11 film. A thing happened today. Somebody got killed yesterday. I don't really want to go into the details, but it's a long story. But somebody got killed because they were outspoken about bad people, and then the bad people killed them. Because of course they did. That's what bad people do. And then other people will be afraid to criticize the bad people because they don't want to get killed. So, cycle of fear there. But it broke my heart a little bit, to be honest. You know, we live in such heartbreaking times. It's hard to really say that, but it's true. I think that, you know, we can say, oh, these are dark times. Of course, they're dark times, but really, they're a little bit heartbreaking, or a lot heartbreaking. And I've been pretty good about keeping my heartbreak at bay. And I don't know what it was about this, because it happened in a foreign country. And I don't know what it was about this that hit me so much, but it did. Because it's just like an example of evil taking away the good. Like, again, all the good people, you know, that say, oh, maybe we should all just not shoot each other and love each other and all be friends. And it seems like they always get shot by bad people. I mean, starting with Jesus, they hung him to a tree. He was just saying, hey, money's bullshit. Let's all just be nice. Hang him to a tree, boys. Martin Luther King. I mean, JFK is an iffy one because, I mean, he was an inspirational president, but I don't know that he was necessarily being like, hey, we should all get along. I wouldn't compare him to Jesus or MLK, to be honest. Maybe that's controversial, but I don't think it is. But, you know, there's definitely other figures in the history of the world that, you know, these people who were just like, hey, let's all get along. Nope. Boom. And what's the point, really? Do some people out there just want to spread hatred and fear? Like, does that make them feel good? It must, in a way. Or is there denial? Do they not believe? Do people start to believe, like, the mythology they've created about whatever circumstance they're in, to believe that whatever they're doing that's clearly, by almost any metric, a horrible thing to do, that they believe it's the right thing to do? I think there's some of that, for sure. I don't know, though. It seems like some people just like to be bad. And I hate this example, but let's take Donald Trump, because he's an obvious one right now. You know, I've seen videos of him around his grandkids, and they seem to love him. And it always kind of like strikes me as, it's almost like it's like, what am I looking at here? Like, Donald Trump has children that love him. And I'm not saying Donald Trump is a demon, but he's not a good actor. I mean, he's a bad man. He's even talked about it recently. I think he said something like about how he knows he's not going to go to heaven. It was like a week or two ago. Which is a weird moment of like self-awareness by Trump, which makes me wonder if he's dying or something. But he knows he's doing bad things. So it's almost an admission that he's an asshole. Like, that he's doing bad, that he knows he's doing bad things. Like, that he knows he's not following the Ten Commandments, which he probably doesn't even know the Ten Commandments anyway. So, no, definitely doesn't know the Ten Commandments. Did you ever see that video? Remember the video back in like 96 or 2016 rather, when that reporter is like interviewing Trump, and he asks him like, "What's your favorite book?" And Trump says it's the Bible, of course. And then the reporter asks like, "What's your favorite passage in the Bible?" And Trump kind of stammers for a second. He's like, "I like all of it. I like the whole thing." And then his other good Bible moment was when, this is what 4.5 years in politics does to you, watching all the media. So I have all these memories now. But after it was the George Floyd riots in D.C. in 2020. So he came out with, what was the name of the fat guy who was like his attorney general, Bill Barr, and a few other people, and like walked out like boldly. You know, they had the National Guard or whoever just like completely clear the protesters with tear gas and knee knockers and, you know, all this shit, just so they could do a photo op in front of a church that had burned or something. I forget the whole story. Anyway, Trump's standing awkwardly in front of this church holding a Bible, because it's a good photo op, I guess. And like, they're interviewing him as he's holding the Bible up, getting his picture taken awkwardly. Like, at one point, the Bible's upside down, so he has to turn it over. But one of the reporters asks him, "Is that your Bible?" And Trump's response is, "It's a Bible." Like, what a strange response that is. Like, you're literally doing a staged photo shoot. And the correct answer to that is, for any politician, yes, it's my Bible. And I love it, or whatever, you know. But Trump, no, it's a Bible. I don't know. Keeps you guessing, that one. Anywho, so then I watched Amélie, which was my homework for therapy this week, which I'll take as good homework because it's a long story why that's my homework. I'm not going to get into it, but it was. So I watched that, paid $4, and I hadn't seen it in years, and I've listened to the soundtrack to that film more than I've seen the movie by far. The soundtrack's like one of the best soundtracks to any film ever made. And I hadn't watched the movie in probably 20 years, 15, 20 years. I don't know when the last time I watched the movie was. But it holds up. It's a real joyful movie. I cry every time I watch it. Different parts usually, but most of the time it's been the part where she leads the blind guy around the neighborhood and it describes everything to him. It just gets me. Anyway, Amélie cheered me up a little bit. It's a strange, wonderful, joyful film. If you haven't seen it, I mean, what are you doing with yourself? Amélie is an interesting movie because, like, it's about someone who is kind of hiding from people in the world. Like, she likes to watch the world from outside, but then realizes that the real joy and the fear and the scary and all that comes from being inside, from joining the world, and all the peril that it involves. Because it's easy to stand on the outside looking in. And I think I do that. I stand outside looking in a lot, in a manner of speaking. I kind of wish I dressed up for Halloween. And I think I should do that next year. I think back to other Halloweens that I've dressed up, and I've always had more fun. Like, I've had a great time. It's fun to be dressed up. One time, it was like my second Halloween in Columbus, maybe my third. I was dating this woman, and we and a bunch of friends went dressed up and went to this like bar crawl thing. That was really kind of a stupid bar crawl, but it was kind of fun. But we were all dressed up, and I was wearing one of my Crayon costumes, which, yeah, I guess I should go down that rabbit hole too. So I have 20. Well, I think there's like 18 or 17 left now. Crayon costumes. It was 2008. No, it's probably 2010, 2011, maybe. I was living in Brooklyn, New York, and me and my sister were gonna fly home and surprise my father for his birthday, which is right after Halloween. And we were also going to be there before Halloween, and it was going to be my nephew Owen's first time trick-or-treating. So Owen was going to go as a pirate, and I thought, oh, it'll be funny. I can get a parrot costume, so I'll be like this giant parrot walking around with my nephew, this tiny little cute pirate. So I ordered a parrot costume probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks before Halloween. I ordered it online. And it was like a week or two for shipping, it said. And then a week or two went by, and there's no costume. I didn't even get a confirmation, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe I handled it badly. I should have probably reached out. But anyway, so I call the place, and I get somebody on the phone, and I'm like, well, I don't know where my order is. And the guy's like, whoa. Yeah, it's crazy this time of year. And I'm like, is it? And he's like, yeah, it's crazy. And I'm like, was it crazy this time last year? He's like, yes. I'm like, how about the year before? Yep. He's like, I get your point. He said, he got my point. Costume store busy before Halloween. Anyway, he basically said he didn't know where my order was, couldn't find it. There were just boxes everywhere, whatever. So I just hoped and prayed, right? And then Hurricane Sandy was coming in. So whatever year Hurricane Sandy was, Hurricane Sandy was approaching. And me and my girlfriend at the time were going to go to Cleveland. I think we were going to fly. Maybe we were going to drive. I forget what the original plan was. So Hurricane Sandy is about to come, and I get back to my apartment after, like, because we had to all, like, was expecting a hurricane, so everybody has to go inside. But we had been out that day, going out. I think we had dinner with friends or something. I get back to my apartment, and there's a package from a costume company, and I'm like, oh, hooray. I'm thinking, the costume's here. It seemed like a big box. I thought it was I remember thinking, this is a very heavy parrot costume. It must be a substantially good parrot costume because it's got some heft. So I just took it upstairs, put it in my office, and then, just went in my room and didn't open it. I thought, I'll open it later when the storm's happening, yada, yada, yada. So Hurricane Sandy comes in, and it's nuts. There's crazy rain. It was quite a thing. The subways were all flooded. It was nuts. Only hurricane I think I've ever been in. But legit hurricane. And at a certain point, I go down to open up the box, and the box, instead of having a parrot costume in it, it has, you guessed it, 20 crayon costumes of different colors, which were apparently intended for some middle school or high school, I imagine like a cheerleading thing, I don't know. But it was about $300 worth of crayon costumes. And the parrot costume was like, I think $60. So I just kept them because I knew I wasn't going to get the parrot costume back, or at least in time for Halloween. So, I thought I can do things with these crayon costumes. I can do some sort of like a Busby Berkeley number, with people like spinning around or whatever. I haven't done that yet. But what I have done, and this brings me back to that Halloween 6 years ago, the bar crawl, I'm wearing I think we both were wearing crayon costumes. I mean, not just the crayon costumes, because they're a little bit, they're revealing. Let's be clear. They're sexy crayons, right? They're cut high on the leg. You'll want to wear underwear when you're wearing these crayon costumes. That's, I guess, the best way of saying it. So we met up with this other friend of ours that was with this guy that she'd been dating. She dated him once. It was like their second date. And we all ended up going back to my apartment, and everybody put on crayon costumes. And then we did like a photo shoot on my couch, all of us, the four of us in crayon costumes. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. But also, a wonderful memory. I still got these pictures on my phone. That was a weird night. I don't think that the guy that our friend was on a date with that night, I don't think they went out again, though. I think that might have, I don't know. I mean, it's a weird second date, that's for sure. And there's an iconic photo that I brought one of the crayon costumes home. Oh, so that story continues, actually. So we were supposed to leave the day after Sandy. And the day after Sandy, the entire city was a mess. So the airplane, like LaGuardia, was like a swimming pool. Like it was all the things. So I couldn't fly out. I was going to fly out. That's right. And then I think either my girlfriend or I thought we should just rent a car. So we made the smart move to like rent a car before Sandy, just in case. So we had this rental car. So I think it was maybe it was 2 days after Sandy, I had to go all the way to JFK because that's where the cheap rental car was to get the rental car. And that was a hike from where I lived in Brooklyn. It was probably like an hour drive. And, there's shit down everywhere. There's trees and debris everywhere. The gas station lines are down the street. It was nuts. And then I finally get my car. And of course, the rental car place is a madhouse because everybody wants a rental car. And I was just fortunate to have a reservation. So I get the rental car and I had to drive from JFK to the Upper East Side. If you're familiar with New York, it's a hike, to pick up my girlfriend at the time. And, it should have taken me like maybe an hour and a half, maybe. I think it took me like 4 or 5 hours because like there was debris down everywhere. There was traffic. It was just like the most nightmarish drive. And then it took a while for us just to get out of the city because it was so bad. But once we actually got out of the city, it was pretty good. Anyway, so we get home. I don't know what night it was. We're having dinner. Maybe it was the night of my dad's birthday. I think it was late after his birthday party. And it was just like our family and my aunt and uncle, their family, sitting around the dining room table, like drinking wine and whatever. And I tell the story, or it comes up somehow, that I got these crayon costumes instead of a parrot costume. So, people have had a little bit to drink. So they're like, hey, try it on, put it on. And so I did. I put it on. I had sky blue was the color that I had. And yeah, and it's revealing. Like I wore underwear, but it's revealing. It's a high cut dress kind of a thing, like a crayon dress, I would say. So yeah, I come downstairs in this crayon dress, and the look on my father's face, it wasn't one of pride. Everybody else was laughing, but the look on my father's face was, I'll never quite forget that. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be hard to see her I was early 40s at this point in a sky blue crayon costume. But, it was a unique son. So, I dressed up in all sorts of costumes when I was doing theater, so it shouldn't have been that much of a shock. And then I have this great picture of me. I picked up my nephew, who was very young at the time. I think he was 3 or 4. And I picked him up, and so I'm like holding my nephew wearing this crayon costume. And he loved the crayon costume. He thought it was hilarious. Yeah, I should give him one. I should see if he wants to wear one now. Maybe we can both wear one next time. Although my dad's passed, but, just for old time's sake. When or we going to get rid of this ridiculous daylight savings time? Whichever, permanent daylight savings time, whichever one is the good one. I forget. When are we going to take care of this? They talk about this. They tease us with it every few years. I mean, Trump talked about it a lot. I thought maybe that'll be a thing I'd like that he did, along with the pennies. He got rid of the pennies. He'd get rid of daylight savings time or made it permanent daylight savings time, whichever the people want. But then it just fades into the distance again. Like, why can't we do this? Let's just do this. Please. I guess it's not important anymore. And the government shut down anyway, so they can't do anything about it now. Everything's going just fine in this heartbreaking world. That's all for now. I hope you're all thriving.
Very good, Jeffrey.